Gosh dang it. What's the old program used to come on? An old man.
Okay, don't even.
You
Y'all.
remember the old man who hopped along all?
Yeah, it was. Okay, I gotta put this back down, y'all. Hey, it's Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead. We're talking about the. He was. It wasn't SF. Gosh, the old man that was kind of humpbacked on the westerns.
Yeah, talking
kind
about
of like McCoy.
Yeah. McCoys, the McCoys.
The McCoys. Who played the old guy on the McCoys?
Yeah, he always had.
Some of y'all know. I know y'all do.
Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to do pop out and think and try to remember about old shows that I hadn't watched in 40 or 50 years.
We're telling our age now.
I don't remember, but it was the McCoys.
Yeah, it was
the
the
old
McCoys.
grandpa.
The old grandpa. Yep.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. We just come on here and we were sitting here.
Danny
just
was being silly.
We were just chit-chatting among each other. I always like to get one to kind of laughing before we get started. And we were trying to remember the name. I can't remember his name, but
somebody will come up with it. They said Festus. No,
that's Gunsmoke.
That's Gunsmoke. But the old Walter Brennan. That's it.
Walter Brennan.
Thank you, D.
Yeah.
Y'all, we forgot to mention D when we was mentioning our moderators
we
last week.
We did.
And we forgot Gossmania, and we probably forgot
yeah,
2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
We don't. It's hard to remember everybody, and D forgives me.
Yeah.
She's one of our sweeties.
Oh.
She don't get called sweetie
no.
very often.
She's like me. Nobody really calls me a good guy, or they don't call her sweetie. You know what I mean? We just kind of want, we kind of like, D and I is kind of like 2 of the same kind of people. You know, we just speak what we think, and if it bothers
people
you.
Take it
Well, it's kind of like today. We had a politician here today. Now, I showed up kind of late because Wanda, I was.
I enjoyed. We had a good time. I showed up.
Wanda and the politician had a great time.
His
him and his wife was with him, and they went around and looked at everything. And
yeah.
I come driving up. I get out with a shotgun and a pistol. Of course, I knew it was a politician when I seen.
It's that time of the year.
Yeah, it's just that time of the year. I got out and said, well, I don't know how they're going to take this. I had a pistol on my side and a shotgun in my hand. And I walked up and didn't really bother him at all, you know. And the guy was telling me, he said, man, my wife's an awesome deer hunter. She loves to deer hunt. She saw your room where you butcher your animals. And, man, she was just fell in love with it and all this kind of stuff. And then he started talking about, he said, man, I've been here an hour waiting on you. You know, and I looked at him and I told him, I said, I did this right here. I said, you see this right here? I said, I really don't give a damn. and I said, bless your heart, you know, and he just kind of, his eyes just got kind of big.
And then he started laughing because he really wasn't waiting. He was just wanting, we got here and his wife, I took her to see the greenhouses because they just got a greenhouse. And she had a pineapple, so I took them to see the pineapple.
I saw a pineapple sitting outside out there a while ago.
I got to pick that up. I set it on my seat. Yeah, it was ready. So one of our little pineapples was ready, and so we had a good time. This good couple.
They was nice. I knew them already.
Dee said, "Happy birthday to Dee," by the way.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
She said,
Dee.
"I ain't no sweetie."
No.
We know that. Oh.
Yeah. And I'm not a gentleman. I guess that's the way most people go. I'm not the gentleman type.
Yeah, it ain't in your vocabulary.
Not in my vocabulary or my way of living.
No, I guess not.
Oh.
We have had a day.
Oh, it has been a day.
We come in by anywhere from 10 to 11, 11:30, and we don't go back out. No. Some days at 10 or 10:30 we don't go back out.
Right.
But today, I came back from Pecan Grove, and Danny stayed a while. And when he came in, like I said, the politicians were here, and so I was outside talking to them, and it was getting pretty warm.
It was getting really warm.
It got warm on him,
yeah.
And so we're inside under the air conditioning. We do this every day under the air conditioning, and my stove had messed up. Yeah. Well, my stove's been messed up.
It's been messed up since we bought it.
It worked good the first couple of months, and I could can on it. I could do whatever I needed, and it was really decent, and thought I was happy. And all of a sudden, the burner started messing up. We had repairman out twice. Danny replaced burners.
It has been.
Then the other day, a light came on one of the pots. It would sit there and boil, and in the next minute, it ain't even cooking. and it would be just back and forth all the time. So we were having issues. And Danny looked at me when the light came on the other day, and we couldn't tell if it was off or on. He said, buy another stove.
I said, buy another stove. Get rid of this piece of junk.
So today at, what, 3:30, 4 o'clock?
Between 3:30 and 4, yeah.
They come bringing our stove, turned it on, whatever. They didn't turn the oven on.
No.
They turned on the burners because they're knobs. And I got a flat top. I don't know. Did I take a picture? I can show you.
I don't know if you took a picture or not.
I think I took a picture. Let me show them. I like the stove, by the way. I think I am, but it was a pain in the butt for 2 or 3 hours.
Gallery.
Where am I at?
There you go.
I think I'm really, really, really going to like it. That's what it looks like. It doesn't have the back. The knobs are on the front, and it's a glass top. And it has a convection oven, but it is not a smart stove. I looked high and low so that I didn't have Wi-Fi connectivity.
Right.
I did not want that in my stove or any of my appliances.
They want to ask me what brand. Was it a Frigidaire?
Yes.
Yes, a Frigidaire.
It was a Frigidaire.
Yeah.
And it got here, and they turned on the burners. Everything worked. Well, they left it kind of.
It was kind of wasn't level.
And it wasn't up high enough in my cabinet, so
right.
Danny had to go outside twice, 3 times.
Yeah, about suffocated when I went out. Yeah.
And he says, "Man, it's so hot out there." Well, he fixed it and got it all leveled up and all that kind of stuff. And I said, "You didn't set the clock, because I don't like these electronic things, and
right.
I don't like setting clocks." And so he's over there. We were, what, 20
minutes. I'm trying to set the clock on this thing, and it just
couldn't
won't work.
Figure it out. I just walked off and started peeling potatoes, and I said, "When you figure it out, show me how to work the oven."
I finally figured it out.
It took a while.
It took a while, but I finally figured it out. I mean, I'm not electronically illiterate, but I mean, I get frustrated because there's procedures you have to go through with all new electronics, and you got to know that procedure before you can actually make it happen, you know?
All right, several of them want to know about canning on a glass top. Now, Danny, and the glass top we had before, Danny had it, what, 20 years?
15 to 20 years, yeah.
And he and Debbie cooked on it and canned on it.
We canned on it all the time.
And then when we got married, I canned on it probably 7 or 8 years.
Oh, yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
Never had any issues, canned just fine. This one, I don't know if I can can on it, but we have the gas stove in the she shed. So my thought is I would rather go out there and pressure can anything that needs to stay normal, because I didn't look to see if it said it had them shut-offs on it. I don't remember seeing it in the description.
I don't think it did.
But I mean, it might. They always have these safety issues.
Yeah.
But
I know this one's got a 12-hour feature on it that if you turn the oven on or turn the stove on, it's 12 hours. If you it automatically turns itself off. And I said, well, that's a good feature, because who's going to have something going for 12 hours, you know? I mean.
Yeah. I mean, but if you walk off or an emergency happens and you walk off, I guess that's a good feature.
It's a good thing, yeah.
But I don't know. We have a toaster oven.
Yeah.
I use the toaster oven a lot. I don't even use my oven as much as I use the toaster oven. And so that saves on electricity, plus it saves heat in here too. But I boiled some potatoes on it a while ago, and I told Danny, I said I had it on 6, and they were jumping out of the pot, so I turned it down to 4. So it's going to take me a while, but it has knobs on the front so that I don't have to reach over to the back over a hot stove. Yeah. And I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about the knobs in the front. And if kids come around, they're going to get their hands spatted. And then it doesn't have the back on it. That back gets annoying because on the stove we had, the steam would come up and it would mess on both the stoves we had.
It rusted. Actually, they start rusting.
Yeah, and it would mess up the back all the time. And it had this weird look to it, and so I didn't want a back on it, and I think I like it.
Yeah, and it's been so hot today, guys. I mean, literally, today was the day of days as far as heat. Now, Ms. Wanda, you took a picture. I brought her in. I told her, I says, come take a picture of this. Nobody's going to believe this. I said, come here and take a picture of this. Look at this right here, guys.
Let me get it where they can see it.
105, the real feel, is 130 degrees here.
Danny said it felt every
It
bit.
was every bit of it. I'm telling you, I have never. When I come home from Pecan Grove, I thought I was going to die. I said, Lord have mercy, what in the world has happened to the, I mean, I don't know if the humidity today went that high. I don't know what caused it, but I knew something was different.
Did you say there was a CME today, or you?
Oh, we have a coronal mass ejection
that might have had something to do
that's
with it.
earth facing today and tomorrow, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's today and tomorrow we have a CME hitting.
Yeah. So I think that might have had something to do with it, because a friend of ours that doesn't live too far from here, maybe 15 miles, said he only got up to 115.
Yeah.
And 115 and 120 is pretty hot. We've had that for the last month.
Yeah, 115 to 120 has been kind of normal for us.
And so we're supposed to be 100 plus.
100 should be our heat index.
Yeah, and it's not. It's our temperature.
That's our temperature. And then tomorrow, well, our temperature today was 105. Tomorrow's supposed to be the same thing again. With, if we have an 80% chance of rain tomorrow, which means it probably won't rain at all. But if we miss it tomorrow, then we've got to wait a whole nother week of a way over 100-degree temperatures before we get another slight chance of rain again. And I'm telling you, my ponds on this property here are about 5 foot low.
At least
5 foot low. And another week of this extreme heat, I mean, I don't know if they're even going to make it, to be honest with you. But now at Pecan Grove, it's only like, what we say, maybe a foot low?
maybe a foot to a foot and a half, somewhere in that vicinity.
About a foot low, because there's been more rain over there than they have here. But it's just, I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know what in the world.
Yeah. I mean, it's totally crazy. And yes, I do have the scarf things that have the moisture absorbers in them, and to put on our necks and stuff. But for the most part, we're inside under the AC. It was 78 in here compared to 130 outside.
You can go out to 130 outside and come back inside, and I go, oh my God, I said, it's so cold in here, you know. And she goes, Danny, it's 78 degrees. I said, I don't care, it feels like ice, you know.
I said, well, you can tell people we had an ice storm come through.
I am very much, Will Be Cool says, that's why I didn't go to McHenry this weekend. Too hot to camp. That is, yeah. It's too hot to camp. It's too hot to fish. It's too hot to do anything.
Yeah.
And then Florida, I saw this go by on the thing. Florida is having a leprosy outbreak.
Oh, wow.
Now that is biblical. You know, leprosy is something that was mentioned in the Bible. Now, there's actually several different types of leprosy. There's some leprosy that just affects your skin. There's some that causes the flesh to fall off the bone, and it eats away at the joints, and literally your fingers will fall off one joint at a time, you know, and your toes one joint at a time and stuff like that. So yeah, we've been hit. I'd rather have the heat than I had the leprosy, let me just tell you.
Well, we've learned to deal with it. Danny and I both were born and raised here.
Yeah.
We understand South Mississippi now. It hadn't got this hot, I don't think, before. But we have 100-degree temperatures every year.
Yeah, this is... And
we have high humidity. We're 30 miles from the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
You can't help but have humidity in the air. And even when I was younger, I was an hour and a half from here, and the humidity was high. But here, the humidity is crazy high.
Yeah.
And so it is, I mean, we're used to it.
Yeah.
We couldn't handle the cold.
Yeah. Any form of leprosy, if it's just one person that has leprosy, that's bad. You know, I mean, Grateful Ed said that's BS, only a handful of cases. Yeah, a handful of cases is too many. Yeah. Literally, that's too many, because it spreads like wildfire.
I mean, if you had one case of COVID and the next week you've got 500, that's too many.
Yeah. And this, Christine's right, because here a few years ago, the Game and Fish Commission in our area was wanting me to bring in armadillos if I killed any armadillos. They was cutting their ears off to check them for leprosy. I said, I ain't bringing them darn things in there. I said, if you want them, you come here and get them.
They didn't want to come pick them up, but they wanted us to do all the work and leave our cage with them and stuff, and then they would get it back. We could pick it up. They weren't
they
gonna
said,
get it
you
back
can bring your
us.
cage back. You can come pick it up. I'm like, heck no.
Y'all want to know about this stuff, you come get them when we call. You know, we just don't say nothing. It doesn't matter. What did you kill this morning?
Oh man, yeah, guys.
He had a rough morning.
I had a rough morning this morning. I get up at, well, I woke up. I didn't get up. I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning, and I just couldn't go back to sleep. And at 4 o'clock, I started cooking breakfast, and me and Miss Wanda ate breakfast around 4:30 to 5, somewhere in that area. And about 5, I was out the door going to feed my cattle and feed my rabbits here at Deep South Homestead. When I come around inside the house, I saw a skunk go under my grapevine, and I couldn't get my light to turn on before I could get the flashlight on him. And I looked, when I did get it turned on, I looked and looked, couldn't find him nowhere. I was like, well, I was aggravated. Went on, fed the cows, fed the rabbits, come back up to open we have security gates on our property here, so I went to open the gate so I could leave to go to Pecan Grove, and there was a big old fox standing right at my gate. Then again, I couldn't get my light to come on, and when I did, I was running around trying to, and then he ran straight toward my house, and I couldn't shoot him. So I was like, dadgummit, then I was really frustrated. So I drove all the way to Pecan Grove, and I opened the gate there, went into the property, and was driving around the property, and there was a giant big old skunk in the field there. I jumped out of the truck, forgot and left it in gear, and it went driving off down the hill. I had to run and get back in it, and I finally got it in park, grabbed my light wouldn't come back on. When it did come on, I seen the skunk going into the woods, and I grabbed my shotgun, and I said, I'm going after him. So I took off into the woods after this skunk, probably figuring I was going to get sprayed at some point. But I got into the woods, I did find him, and was able to eradicate him. And
I mean, it was
this thing was huge. I took and showed
a lot of white.
Yeah, he was huge.
I didn't take any pictures.
No, we didn't. Well, no, we don't take pictures of all that stuff.
But he was huge.
He was huge.
And I told Danny, I said, what are the odds? We've been married 10 years. In 10 years, the first year, the second year one, he killed one skunk here. We've not seen a skunk since till this year. And we've killed 4 or 5 here. 4 here, and we saw the other one.
Yeah, we've killed 4, seen 1, and I killed 2 over yonder in the last week.
2, yeah, in the last week over at our other place. So what are the odds do we have this many skunks? And so far, we've not had a fox on this place that I know of in 10 years. And this fox loves our yard.
This fox stays right here in my front yard. And
he loves the sidewalks and he goes up and down the sidewalks when we ain't looking, and he just plays. You got to put the security camera up out there.
I do. I got to.
I want to know exactly what he does.
I
hadn't thought of it till just now.
We've been seeing lots of deer here, both here and at Pecan Grove. We've been seeing lots of turkeys at Pecan Grove. Yesterday, we saw our first quail at Pecan Grove because I've killed, I don't know how many raccoons over there. I've killed possums, skunks. I got 2 foxes I've seen over there. I got to get the foxes. But now that I'm taking all these animals out, the good wildlife is starting to come back in, which I like. I don't mind that. The quails was in the cornfield, which is not hurting a thing in the world.
No, the fox got 2 of my chickens last week.
Yeah.
That's one reason we after him.
Yeah.
I let my chickens out to free range now that the figs are off the tree. I didn't want them eating my figs, and I'm letting them out. And I went out there one day and I thought I put them all up. I didn't see any anywhere, and it was getting dark. It was dusk dark because I don't go out till really late. And the next morning I found that I only had 11 hens, and I usually have 13. And when I got to looking, there was feathers in 2 places, no birds. So Danny said, usually a fox does that. Well, I'd already seen the fox here twice before. And then I let them out yesterday. Was it yesterday? Day before?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday. I came home yesterday and they were out.
And I went to put them up again. It's getting dark. I don't go out till it gets dark. And I tried counting them, and they kept moving around so much. I think I counted 11, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I told Danny, I said, there may be one out, but I said, it's too hot. I'm not chasing it. If it's out, it's out. And that's when he saw the fox this morning. So I ran out there and I started counting hens this morning in the daylight, and I had all 11. So they were not out anywhere, but
yeah. But I'm just glad to see some of the good wildlife coming back around here. Now today, I guess I can tell them this. Today we actually videoed an owl.
yeah, it's going to be on Patreon shortly.
Yeah, it'll be on Patreon shortly. We were driving down to our food plot on at Pecan Grove this morning, and when I say food plot now, I'm talking about a hunting place where you go down to hunt, not a garden. And Wanda, I come back around and I stopped, and here's this giant owl.
And I forgot my phone.
Wanda didn't have her phone with her. I said, Wanda, look at this big old owl. He's sitting right here in front of us.
I was sitting there going, I don't have my phone.
And I was sitting there hooting at him and carrying on with him and all. And he was just looking down there at me. He would look and twist his head and all. And then he went to grooming himself and all. I said, come on, we're going to go back and get the camera. So we drove all the way back to the truck, got the camera, drove all the way back down there. Of course, he had moved to another limb on a tree, but we found him. And we drove up pretty close to him again. And I sit there and I hooted back and forth with him. And he kept looking at us. And he went back to grooming himself and just... He could care less if we was even in the world. I mean,
yeah.
But that thing stood up. He was
a pretty owl.
He was probably 1.5 feet tall. Big old owl.
And that's what we hope on Patreon to start doing more of is the wildlife over at Pecan Grove. And we saw our first deer in the food plot yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday during the day.
Yeah, we drove up back there. It was early morning? No, it was late evening.
It was.
It wasn't dusk dark because we decided to go back there.
It wasn't dark. We went back. We had put some corn. We took some of our Danny corn back there and throwed it out. That wasn't good ears. That didn't pollinate well. We just threw them out in the place back there. I told her, I says, we'll see what something eats it. And we went back there. I put it out that morning. We went back that evening, and it had already been eaten by deer. Deer tracks in it everywhere. So now we got to set up cameras.
Yeah, because we want to see the deer, and then we want to video possibly the quail and things. I didn't get any video of the quail. We heard them. We just didn't. We saw them fly.
Yeah, but you got them making their quail sounds. Yeah.
But I didn't. We saw some fly, but I didn't get them. So my goal in the future is to do a lot more wildlife, and I've got pictures of the trees blowing, the wind blowing. About 2 weeks ago, it was blowing really hard and nice, and it was pretty, and I like things like that. Some people don't, but that's my goal.
Yeah, no, somebody's asking, have we seen less egg production? No, our chickens are still manufacturing eggs, look like crazy.
I keep plenty of water for mine, and we have a big building that is really nice. It's not too hot in our building.
Right.
We don't have to worry about fans or anything like that. They've got places to dust, and I put a big pan of water, one of these, what do you call it, a trough for feed trough?
It's a feed pan for cattle.
Yeah. I've got it in there with a lot of water, and I put fresh water in it earlier, and then I've got a 12-gallon water that has nipples on it, so they have 12 gallons of water to drink out of, so they have plenty to deal with.
Yeah, it's barred or horned owl. It's a barred owl that we're seeing there.
Pamela wants to know, could you possibly tell me what is eating the seeds out of my beautiful sunflowers?
Usually it's birds that they do it during the day. I had a whole field of sunflowers planted. I say a whole field, probably an acre of them planted. And I was looking forward, man, I was going to harvest all these big old pretty heads for chicken feed and for sunflowers for us to eat and everything. And I went down there one day and looked, and they were so pretty. I said, well, in about a week they'll be dry because they done dropped over good and was kind of drying a little bit. I went back in about a week to start harvesting them things. I didn't hardly have any sunflower seeds and everything. And I walked in there, birds come up out of them sunflowers everywhere. I was like, man. And I never planted anymore because it was too hard to keep the birds out of them.
Yeah. So we've had a pretty good week overall, but it's just been weird in some ways because of the stove. And so I've been using the stove, but I've been very leery. I hate leaving the stove because that light's been on all week, and I was afraid that at some point one of the burners would be left on.
Okay. So. Poodle Daddles says, how would you survive the heat without air conditioning? Well, when I taught survival, there's a few techniques. The body cools down a specific way. The body cools down from the top of your head right here to the right here under the back of your shoulders right back here. If you can keep a wet towel or a wet rag around the back of your head, right from the base of your head to the top of your shoulders right here, and you can get like a little 12-volt fan or something like that and keep air moving on it and blowing on it, if you're not careful, now this may sound crazy, but in 90-degree temperature you can take a chill, because that cools the core temperature of your body down right there. It's a survival technique that you learn when you have to be in the extreme heat, so that your body doesn't overheat on you. And if it does start overheating, you can take a rag and stick it in a creek or a branch or something like that, and you can put it around your neck, and you can actually take something and start fanning yourself like this, and you will actually you'll get cool really quick. I mean, that would be the only way. Now, we can't do swamp coolers here and stuff like that because there's just too much humidity. That doesn't really work here. And I grew up with no air conditioning. Now, I had no air conditioning from the time I was born until I was 18 years old and got married. Well, technically 19. I got married at 19. And we didn't have any air conditioning until my wife was like 6 months into her pregnancy. And then it wasn't me who put the air conditioning in then, it was her father who come put it in, because her father was an air conditioning man, running an air conditioning business. And
Not
I grew
me
up,
now. This is first wife.
This wasn't Wanda. This was my first wife. I was used to having no air conditioning, but she was pregnant and needed the air. And while I was at work, he came and put it in the house. And when I come home, I thought I was going to freeze to death. I was walking around. It's like, my God, it's so cold in here, you know. And of course, she was loving it, you know.
Okay, so let me mention. Somebody said that anybody heard from Miss Lippy. Her knee is swollen. She had surgery this week, and she did good through the surgery, but her knee is swollen. She's in a lot of pain, so she might be sleeping if she actually went to sleep. But she sent me this week, and I got to show y'all. Miss Lippy's Bayou blends, the fish fry magic. So if y'all are interested in anything to coat fish with, she's got her fish blend out. So go to Miss Lippy's Bayou Blends on Etsy. It's gluten-free, nut-free, low sodium, has paprika, garlic, cayenne, mustard, and other blended spices. You'd have to ask her what the others are. And you coat your fish and then fry it later. And let it sit for a few minutes and then fry it. But Lippy is doing okay. She's just in some pain. And somebody mentioned my soups, and I want to show them this because I've got two things we want to give away tonight. And one of them is a soup, because I was going to do it on the video and I didn't get to. Now these are from Anderson House Frontier Soups. Y'all, the soup's amazing. The tortilla soup was really, really good. Lippy ordered some, and she cooked the corn chowder yesterday and said it was amazing. Somebody else said they had gotten it. It was amazing. So I would send one tortilla to somebody, and we'll do the giveaway in a little bit. The loaded sweet potato. This one is the broccoli cheddar. I went and ordered 13, and I'm going to order more later for stash. I've got a chicken and rice and a creamy cauliflower. So there's all kinds, but I'm going to give away a tortilla soup mix in a little bit. I just got to figure out. Miss Allison says she got her soup too. Renee said the tortilla was delicious. Yes. The beef barley stew is delicious. See, several people have ordered, so they like these. They are not, what is Frontier Co-op? The Frontier Co-op, it has nothing to do with that.
This is your deal. I don't know nothing about this.
Yeah, this is from Anderson House, and these are, you can read all the ingredients. I got a video up. You can read what's in them, and it tastes like homemade, and you can see everything in the package. So, if you're interested in one, what can we do for a giveaway?
I I don't know.
Got a question?
I've been so hot today, man. My mind's just blown right now. Oh, we gotta show those things over
I
there.
know. I'm gonna get to that
Okay.
one in a minute. That's our second
Okay.
giveaway, not them, but
Those ain't giveaways over
no.
there.
Mickey said we could. So
Oh, okay.
I will get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Um,
I hadn't heard about that.
let me see.
How long do the soups keep? These are freeze dried, ain't they?
These are freeze dried.
Yeah, they can last up to 20 years, I imagine.
It doesn't say on here, and I've had several people say they asked the company. I would use them within 2 years or 3 years.
Yeah,
I wouldn't store stuff like this. I mean, you could put it in a bag.
You could probably vacuum seal it
Yeah, Mylar.
in a Mylar bag or something like that, and it probably lasts for a long, long time.
But I'm kind of freaky. I like to rotate out every 2 to 3 years, no longer than 5 years. If something gets to 5 years, I'm dumping it usually. So,
Gene Kevin says, how much do they make per package?
this is a lot. I ate I still hadn't eaten the last. I got one more bowl of the tortilla, and this made number 5 helping. I've got the 6th helping. On here it says it makes 9 8-ounce servings. So if you weigh it out 8 ounces, you could serve 9 people. That's a lot for, I think 7 something, 8 something, I don't know. And if you order 13,
They said, do we know if any of them, Diane says, do you know if any of them are vegan soups?
Yeah, they're like
most
this
all
one
of them.
is vegan. You add the meat.
Yeah.
Now some of them has some meat in it. There's 2 or 3 of them that do have some chicken in it, but most of them don't. You add the meat. So you can, and there's recipes on their site for vegan soups. So how to make it vegan.
A Country Gal's Homestead said she just planted some sweet potatoes, and they up about 10 inches and looking good. It depends on how long this heat lasts. You know, I mean, you got to have 100 to 120 days to get a decent sweet potato. So if you can make it 100 days, you might end up with some. I mean, well, they won't be big, but hey, anything is better than nothing, is the way I look at it.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
Danny has not passed his kidney stone.
No, I have not passed my kidney stone, and I have another one going down my urinary tract. Y'all probably see me sitting here tonight. I lean forward, and I move over this way, and I move over that way. It's because that baby hurts, you know, and I have to keep moving it around. It doesn't bother me really bad unless I'm sitting. Now, if I'm up standing, like working and stuff like that, it's not too bad. But sitting down, man, it lights me up, yeah.
Okay, so these are gluten-free and no salt. They did not add salt. For those of you that don't need salt added, you add your own salt. And they are non-GMO certified, if that helps. Now, somebody kind of crawled me on the video in the comments saying, but they can't claim, they called and asked where was Roundup used. These companies can't legally tell you no Roundup was used because they buy from several different farmers, and most of them don't use Roundup, but you don't ever know when one might. So they legally can't tell you no Roundup was used if there's even a slight chance any was used. So it's non-GMO. It's as fresh as you're going to get. You go to the store and you buy a can of Campbell's that feeds 1 to 2 people for the same price, just about it nowadays.
Yeah, Gail Brown's asking, can you eat the sweet potato leaves? Yes, you can eat the sweet potato leaves. You can cook them down. They just like eating greens or anything else, you know. Madeline says, castor oil packs will help with that. I ain't taking no castor oil. When I was a kid, my mama used to give castor oil for
Mine
everything.
too.
And I'm telling you, you was constantly running to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Maybe, look, guys, I've tried everything. I do lemon water. I've been eating pineapple. I've done everything in the world. And all I've been drinking for 15 years is water. I don't drink nothing else except muscadine juice or some of my own home squeezed grape juice or something like that, you know.
All right, I'm going to send Allison an answer.
Uh,
Let me see if Allison, I'm gonna try and send some.
Ooh, Hutch said I passed 3 a couple of weeks ago.
Ooh.
Bless your heart. Oh my word. I just wish mine would pass, you know, because when my first one passed into my bladder, I had 2 days for the first time in months and months and months. I was pain free. I felt like a young man again, you know. And I told Wanda, man, I have so much energy. And then I got on the lawnmower, started mowing, and lo and behold, I had another one come down out of my kidney. So I'm like, okay.
All right, I got to figure out what I can send her right quick. I need a question. Nothing's coming to mind, y'all.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm just like totally blank. Okay, talk about. Well, you don't know too much.
I don't know. Well, what? I don't know too much. Y'all hear that? She says I don't know too much.
All right, now Mickey and
I
Kathy,
like that concept though, because if I don't know too much, nothing's expected of me.
Mickey and Kathy said we could give away another set of electroculture rods tonight, and you have to contact me tonight so that I can get her the message and they can ship them out Monday morning. So if the winner of the electroculture rods has to contact me on Deep South Homestead tonight at the Gmail, I got to come up with a question. But we also got these from. Let me find.
I don't want to call a name wrong here.
Yeah, Miss D is all I know. D. She sent me Miss Donna. That's it, Miss Donna.
Is it Donna?
Yes, her name's Donna. And let me read. She was graced with an abundance of copper wire, with a background as a goldsmith and an avid gardener. The electroculture aspect of making aerials is a blast. So my little container garden is produced beyond expectation. When she made these, she said, I thought of y'all and I wanted to send them to you. So she makes aerials.
She makes aerials, but anyway, she made these for us to hear, and the artwork that's in them is meticulous. I mean, and I don't know if I can get this up here where you can actually see it or not, but notice the little tiny wire, copper wire right there that's wrapped around it to hold it, and then there's another one down here, and then there's a solid bottom on it to shove it down in the ground. And guys, this is, let me get it up closer, I don't know if I can. This is braided copper. This is not like this is number 12 braided, but it's not solid copper. And she made that and sent it to me to use in my, I'll probably use them in my containers because we're going to do a lot more container gardening. And then I thought these were really nice. Look at this one. This one has a pearl on top of it.
Yeah, I thought those were pretty.
Right here, it has the same little copper wiring around it, which is very meticulous.
And then it's got this.
Then it's got a little copper washer, and then it spirals and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you go down. And then at the bottom, it's once again got the little solid bottom in it right there that you can shove in the ground, and it's got the copper wire wrapped around it there again. So she made me a couple of these. I'm getting the camera there.
I thought they were really cute.
They're really cute. I mean, I'm interested in trying them, especially with the little pearls on top of them. I mean, you know, if you can garden and make the garden look kind of nice, you know, I thought, I'll give this a shot, see how it works.
Somebody was asking about the color on the barn, and I had it. I took a shot of it the other day to show somebody, but I deleted it today because I didn't need it. It's
Mission Brown.
It's Mission Brown, but the title of the thing I can't ever remember. It says
Ready. That's
Ready
Seal.
Ready Seal. That's it.
Ready Seal, goof proof.
It says it's goof proof.
Yeah.
You can't mess it up.
You can't mess it up. You can be staining, stop today, and go back and start tomorrow, and you can't tell where you started and stopped at.
All right. The soups come from Anderson House Frontier Soup Mixes. Check out the link. Miss Allison can put a link up to it. If you put Deep South 10, no spaces in it, you get 10% off. But if you order 13 of them, they have what they call a baker's dozen. You get 15% off, and you get free shipping, because that's what I did. I didn't even use my own code. So for the mix, for the soup mix, all right, get ready to go, because Miss Allison's going to be looking. What is my birth date month?
Let's
see how many of them know me that well.
What is Miss Wanda's birthday month?
Let's see.
Y'all tell me so I'll know. That way I won't get in trouble.
Now our electrical plants are doing really great. Even though it's been really hot.
Look.
The eggplant is. I got an eggplant today. Okay, so Miss Allison will tell me for sure who got it first.
Look, over at Pecan Grove, I mean,
the white okra.
The white okra is doing fantastic.
Yeah,
now I bush hogged the peas down yesterday because I just got tired of them things.
But they didn't have electriculture.
They didn't have no electriculture on them, but we bush hogged the peas down.
Stop. We got plenty of people.
Okay, we've already got the right answer, guys, so you can go ahead and stop. But the eggplants still have electroculture on them, and them jokers will not stop growing. I mean, they're just phenomenal, and they're doing great. All the white okra has electroculture. It's doing phenomenal. Of course, on the Danny corn, we're gradually cutting it down and harvesting it, trying to get it out.
I have a video up. Maybe Monday, it might be Wednesday, I don't know. I'm so far behind and stuff.
We are way behind on our videos.
Susie Q is the winner. She's the first one that said September.
Yeah.
So Susie Q, send me a message. I will send you one of these, the tortilla mix out this week. Okay, for the electroculture rods from Mr. Mickey at Hills Mill Homestead. I don't have one in here, do I?
No.
I went and put them in all my plants.
You went and put them in all the pots.
I got them in my strawberries. I've got a video on the high tunnels and what's going on coming up, possibly Monday, on what we've got going on in the high tunnels. And I got most of my about 4 or 5 electroculture rods from Mr. Mickey and Miss Kathy at Hills Mill Homestead in my strawberries. Now they're barely alive because I think it got way past 110 in there today, probably 100. I didn't go out there tonight.
It's bad.
But this morning at 10, when the guy was here and I was showing him and his wife, it was 110 in there. It was hot. And that was with air, the fans blowing. All right, so...
Oh, somebody asked a question, will Mickey's rods rust? No, Mickey's rods will not rust. Now, they may turn colors and get a weird look to them, like copper does. It just,
okay.
But they will not rust.
Somebody want to know where we're going to sell the white okra seeds.
I don't know if we are or not. It depends on how many we're able to harvest. Because it gets dead-gum hard to let that okra stay on the plant when it tastes so doggone good. Now, we do have... I don't know, how many pods did you pick the other day? 8 or 10 of them?
Yeah.
We picked 8 or 10 of them the other day that were already dry that I know I'll have a few seed from. Because, see, I don't know how many seeds is in a pod. I've never grown it before.
Quite a few from frying it. But, we'll see.
But how many of them will be viable, to regrow, or anything like that?
This is our first time, so...
My first year doing it.
We're not going to sell any, and if we can, maybe next year we may do a long row or something, and then maybe have some to sell.
Yeah,
this year is an experiment for us.
Yeah, now I have some Star of David that I might put up for sale because I'm harvesting some of it now. I may put the Star of David up because I grow it here at Deep South Homestead. We're growing the white okra at Pecan Grove, and
Jimmy, yes, we see your comment, if that's what you're asking.
That's Jim?
Yeah, he said, my name is Jimmy, please tell me if you can hear me. I can't hear you.
No, we can't hear you, but we can see you.
I can see your comment. All right, so now for the, for Danny, for the electroculture rods, I'm going to put start up, and then I'm going to hit stop, because usually the first 5 or 6 people we have a winner, but when I hit start, you guys tell me what is Danny's birthday month?
Well, they knew that a while ago.
I don't know. We'll see. White okra has become our favorite.
White okra.
We like the Star of David.
I like the Star of David.
Big, but the white okra, the taste is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I just couldn't believe it.
Cammy 97.
Let her tell me for sure.
Okay. What's the trick to get lettuce to head up? Lots of fertilize and cool weather. Lettuce will not head up in the heat. You know, it's just one of them things that, I mean, everybody do mine.
All right, somebody's saying something about peppercorns. I have several in my high tunnel that I need to get rid of, so I need to put them up for sale. We've got a project off camera that we're dealing with, and y'all, it's taking all our time, and so we're spazzing when I do videos that they're quick and what we can do. And two, we like to just chill at Pecan Grove some. We've learned that it ain't all work. We have to chill some, and so we've been doing that for a while. Okay, Miss Allison says Cammy 97 is the winner of the electroculture rods. Cammy, I have to have your address tonight, deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com.
T-Bear says, do you know the name of the white okra? Nope, I have no idea what the name of the white okra is. A subscriber brought it by here. I'm not going to call their name because I don't really have permission to. But they brought it by here and gave me 4 or 5 pods and told me that if I grew it, I would love it. And of course, I let it sit here for a couple of years and didn't do anything with it. And then this year, Ms. Wanda planted it over at Pecan Grove.
I was wanting to just test a whole bunch of stuff, and I planted it and what was the other one? Louisiana.
Oh, jambalaya.
The jambalaya. And so we pulled the jambalaya plants up because they weren't producing hardly. And Danny says, I want that white okra. So we pulled the jambalaya up, and the white okra, I've got several pods on each one of them drying.
Yeah.
And like he said, I took 7 or 8 off today.
D. Bunker says, same as my father's, July the 24th. Yeah. Can I direct sow cabbage seeds? Dog Mom says. You can if it's cool weather, but you can't in the heat because it's not going to do any good to do it in the heat.
Okay. So what else we got going on? We showed all our stuff, I hope.
Charlotte says, Charlotte Terrell says, me and Danny are the same age.
Getting old.
I feel sorry for you because I feel like I'm old. It ain't the age with me, it's the miles. Let's see here. Where am I at? My eyes are fuzzy because I've been so doggone hot today.
My peppercorns have not seeded. I mean, they put these little seed pods on, but then they shrivel up and die, so they're not pollinating or something. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know what to do to make that happen, but they put lots of little seed heads on. I had just let them almost take over 4 spots in my high tunnel, and Danny says, you got to cut that back. So I did last year. I sold a bunch. I've cleared up 1 whole spot. I sold it. I'm down to 3 spots, and I've got to clear out some more. They said they saw that the white okra is an Alabama heirloom. Yes, it came from Alabama.
This came from Alabama. The person who brought it from me lived in Alabama.
Oprah Winfrey.
I saw the Oprah Winfrey. Yeah.
That is so bad. White velvet okra. But it may be because it's smooth.
It's very smooth. I know
so
that. It's possible that it can be called that. It's really white. It gets really long. I mean, it gets 8 to 10 inches long.
Miss Sylvia, Rocking Chair Society, says she found some white okra called Silver Queen. So we don't know the name.
I don't know the name of it.
You just have to try it and see.
Yeah.
Peppercorn is a plant, yes.
Yeah.
So.
Hutch feels like I do. He says, I'm 62, but my back is 90. When I was 40, I was 43 or 44 years old. I hurt my back really bad, and I went to a chiropractor, and he did a scan of my back, and he come back in, and he looked at me, he said, how old are you? And I told him, I said, I'm in my mid-40s. He said, you got the back of a 70-year-old man. You know, I told him, I said, thank you.
So now that he's in his 60s, he probably has the back of a 150-year-old man, because he's done a lot since then.
Yeah. But you know what? You're only as old as you feel like you are. And I wake up every morning and I thank God above that I'm able to get up, I'm able to fix my own breakfast, I'm able to take care of my animals, I'm able to work in the garden, I'm able to walk, talk, look, see, do whatever.
And enjoy life.
And enjoy life. I head out the door, I ain't supposed to be driving, but I drive, I head to Pecan Grove, and I go over there and I bust my tail till dinner time and I drop dead in the heat and have to come back home. You know?
Mississippi Soldier, thank you. What will and won't reproduce after harvest? Now, field peas, you can chop them down and they can come back out. I do know that.
Corn won't.
Corn won't.
Well, no, wait. It depends on what you mean when you say won't reproduce after harvesting it.
Make another crop.
Things will rebloom. Like if you've got green beans, you'll get a couple of 3 pickings off of them, and then they'll stop blooming, and they'll rebloom again if it don't get too hot. Potatoes won't do after they have a crop. Sweet potatoes won't do after they have a crop. Corn won't do after they have a crop.
Tomatoes will because
tomatoes.
I've trimmed tomatoes back and took all the leaves off, and they keep coming out.
It's indeterminate tomatoes.
Yeah, certain types of tomatoes.
Determinate tomatoes, once they bear, they will not bear anymore. Cabbage won't. Broccoli won't. Now, broccoli will. Yes, broccoli will. If you cut the head off of a broccoli, it will continue to make shoots coming out. And a cabbage will too, but it's not ever going to make anything that amounts to much. So I don't usually say cabbage. Cauliflower won't. Stuff like that. Turnips won't. I mean, your onions will. If you cut them off, they will come back. But it's just a whole list of things.
Somebody's asking, how do I prune comfrey? I don't. I just let my comfrey go. And
comfrey, you ain't got to worry about it. You can cut comfrey off about 1.5 inches from the ground. You cut the whole plant off and it'll come right back.
Yeah. So you can chop it and drop it because comfrey's good for other plants and fertilizing things. But I don't. Mine just grows. I was looking. Somebody says, "Help! How do I tell if a pumpkin is ready to pick?"
The vine usually dies. I mean, when the vines die, the pumpkins are ready to pull off.
Will tomatoes ripen red even when they're in the middle of a heavy loaded tomato plants, or should I prune more?
Well, it depends on the heat and the amount of water and rain they're getting and stuff like that, Jeff. It's just one of those things that you can actually take them off if they've been on there for a long time and haven't turned red. You can take them off and put them in a brown paper bag, and you can store them that way where they're dry and cool, and they will continue to ripen. Or you can put an apple with them and they'll ripen a lot faster. But
thank you, American Legend.
But yeah, it'll work.
Lisa asked, "I'm not somebody. Love you all." I'm not sure, Lisa, what you're saying, but love you too, honey. I just read random comments. I can't read all of them because they go. What is your best producing fall? I guess you mean plant.
Our best producing fall plant is probably our carrots.
Yeah.
We plant carrots in the fall, and onions. Carrots and onions. We plant them in October and November. We harvest them the following spring, in usually February and March, and we get a fantastic crop off of them. That'd be my 2 best ones.
Yeah. What will you change plant date for garlic and onions due to the heat?
Darlene, yes, we usually rotate our planting dates out based on what the weather's doing. If it's staying hot longer, then we will make changes based on that. Yes.
Okay. Are there 2 moons? If not, any idea what my husband saw Wednesday night? That's Tracy.
Tracy, no, there's not 2 moons. What your husband saw, there is a binary planetary system coming into our solar system that's being tried to be hid from us for years now, because it's been coming in from behind the sun, and the sun's had it blocked. But now it's coming into view. I've seen it. Wanda took pictures of it. It is another solar system that's coming into our solar system, and you're actually going to start seeing other planets. And they're not going to be the moon, they're not going to be the sun, they're not going to be Mars, Venus, or anything like that.
All right, somebody wanted to know what the white okra looks like.
We can get it up there. There we go.
I can't hold it still.
That's the white okra right there.
It has a tinge of green on the bottom, but it keeps turning white. Now, I picked these small because I like boiling okra and stuff like that, but that's what the white okra looks like. So I don't know if I got anything else, but I was just looking to see. Oh, they want to know about the pineapple. Somebody asked about pineapples.
Yeah.
This is the last two I picked this week. And you talking about good.
Ooh, them things.
Oh my goodness.
Them things.
And I picked a small one today. So now we have none getting ready. All of them are ready, but I've got a lot of babies, and we really need to become pineapple farmers. I need about 40 acres just for pineapples.
We do. We have so many pineapple plants, we don't have room for all of them.
Yeah. Let's see.
Donna said, I've never had okra.
She's not from the South.
You're not from the South, I can already tell you that.
Well, if she is, she's hid.
She's a transplant if she is. I
yeah.
mean, but yeah.
But not everybody likes
Not
okra.
everybody likes okra. I mean, that's just it. Now, some people like it fried. I like it. I don't care which way you fix it. I don't care if you boil it, fry it, steam it, raw. I like it all different ways. But I just one of them things. When is it time to plant lemongrass? We plant our lemongrass in the spring.
Yeah,
Early spring.
I overwinter mine every year. I'm lucky, but now some of the freezes we've been getting has been killing mine. Mine's not as pretty the last 3 or 4 years, but I think some of that had to do with the grazon issue we had in the garden.
Yes.
Because mine was big and beautiful, and I had a whole row of it, 2 whole rows, and it just started dying back, and I couldn't figure out why. And now thinking back, it started dying back when we put the grazon grazon manure from the goats in our gardens, and my lemongrass was right by it.
Yeah.
So I think that almost killed it. So I'm still reaping the benefits of grazon.
Somebody wanted to know, you can stop the thing there. Somebody wanted to know if I would give my opinion on the Yellowstone volcano. There are particular satellites in outer space that monitor steam rising from the Earth. There are lots of cauldrons around Yellowstone, way away from Yellowstone. It's actually starting to leak steam out of the ground. So they know that the lava underneath Yellowstone is growing. It is actually grown all the way over into Idaho, and they have fissures underneath the ground that's actually gone as far as Missouri in lots of places. Eastern Missouri right now, just off the New Madrid fault line, is actually spewing steam and sulfur into the air in just remote locations even there. But Yellowstone, technically, people look at Yellowstone as being one of the hugest volcanoes that they are. Yellowstone is actually a baby volcano compared to certain volcanoes. I'm not going to call the name of them because I'm not permitted to, but there are certain volcanoes that are in the Pacific Ocean that makes Yellowstone look like a baby volcano. You've ever noticed there's never been wars that's been permitted to be fought.
Okay, watch the WAR word too.
Yes, I do have to watch that word. There's never battles been permitted to be fought in the Pacific Ocean because of the Ring of Fire. Now, there are other volcanoes in the Pacific Ocean that if certain vibrations in the ground or underwater explosions was to take place, then these super volcanoes that's under there would go off and literally they would devastate the earth. I mean, And two, there's places in the Pacific Ocean that no one is allowed to film, either from the air or anything, because their phones are confiscated if they do, or their videos are. I mean, there's just lots of things. I mean, even off the coast of Hawaii, we have a very active volcano there that has lava under the water that we have biolab viruses that are being dumped into this thing because they can't stop the viruses they've created. I mean, there's places and things going on in the world as far as volcanoes are concerned. Yellowstone is not, it's a bad volcano. Don't get me wrong. If it goes off, yeah, you're talking about Montana, Idaho, Colorado, all places around there, there'd be no life left. It would take everything out because you'd be looking at, even 100 miles away, you'd be looking at 3 to 5 foot of ash on the ground. So, you want to stop and just, you have to just take thought and say, Lord, where do you want me at? Is this, there's no safe places on the face of the earth now. Let me tell you that. Everybody used to say, where's a safe place to live? There is none. You got to be okay with where you live because you got to be okay with your relationship between you and the Father.
If you lived here in Mississippi where we're at, the 130 heat index today would kill 90% of you. Most people can't handle what Danny and I are used to, and we're not even handling it. We stayed in under air conditioning, but to live in the South is tough. But also to live in the North, in Canada or Alaska or somewhere where it's so cold.
Where it's so cold.
Danny and I couldn't survive that.
I mean, I've been up north and I've lived up in Connecticut and places. I've seen the snow. I've been through the 50-degree below temperatures and stuff like that. Yeah, you can acclimate to it, but it takes time. And at our age, we're just not interested in that. And I understand snowbirds. I understand why they come south as they get older, because their body just gets tired of the cold.
Yeah. So, wherever you're at, that's where God put you.
Yeah.
You stay there, you live your life, you do what God wants you to do. That would be my thought, because you can't run, you can't hide, and there's no point in it. There's
no point, because I get dozens of emails every week. People asking me, Danny, where can I move to in the United States that's a safe zone? And there is no safe zones anymore. It's all over. If I was to show y'all all the new earthquake fault zones that they are in the United States, like the western side of the Appalachian Mountains, western Virginia, Texas, and Colorado, and all the new fault zones that's coming up across Arkansas and southern Missouri and all these places like this, people would freak out. They go, oh my God, I thought I moved to a place that was a safe zone. The earth is going through birth pains, like spoken of in Revelation, and it's doing crazy things right now. We have cracks in the earth. We have land in the Atlantic Ocean that's as large as the United States rising to the surface out there that nobody's talking about. You may very well, in your lifetime, see a whole new continent come up out there, just simply because.
Or you can see part of one disappear.
Or well, archaeological digs this past week, the CIA this past week, has been showing in Mexico, 400 and something feet under the earth, they have found human bodies and cities and stuff 400 feet under the earth. I mean, you got to stop and think, what kind of cataclysmic event took place to bury stuff that deep under the earth? It had to be an instant kill, to do it that way. So, is what we're experiencing new? The answer is no. That's why you've got to make sure your relationship with the Father is right. Now, we have a supernova event coming. I'm not going to go into detail on it here because it'd probably take the channel down if I did. But there is a huge supernova event coming. There is a massive water event coming. I mean, the heat event, I tried to tell people for the last 2 years about this heat that's been coming. I tried to tell people about extremes. When it's cold, it's going to be extremely cold. When it's hot, it's going to be extremely hot. Our quote-unquote big brother has known about this for many decades that it was coming. That's why we have certain agendas and I'm not going to call the numbers. Y'all know the numbers.
One of them's gone and one of them's coming. And
one of them's gone, one of them's coming, and one of them's further out. Yes. So, yeah, they've known about these things, but they also realize that the one that's coming is actually coming 6 years faster than they anticipated it was, and now they're putting things in high gear. That's why all military bases in the United States by 2021 had to be self-sufficient. They had to have their own power sources and everything so that when this event happens, they won't need electricity because they'll already have their own electricity. So,
okay,
anyway,
enough of that.
I got to get off this tangent. I could just keep going.
You're going to get our channel pulled.
I know, I'm going to get the channel messed up.
We're trying not, he said, I'm not talking about all this stuff now.
Yeah.
I refuse. I'm not pulling our channel, getting our channel pulled. And what does he do?
I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. If something happens and we disappear, just go check out CRAZY DAZES or I don't know.
We may pop back up with Pecan Grove.
Yeah, just if we disappear, look for a channel called Pecan Grove, you know. Because
I do have one set up. It's private. Well, it's not private. I've got most of the videos unlisted because I use them over on Patreon. But if something happens and we lose Deep South, y'all look for a new channel called Pecan Grove, and we'll just pop up over there with all my happy videos and stuff like that. And we'll just tiptoe through the tulips. Ain't that something?
We'll do what we gotta do. Yeah.
Tiny Tim, tiptoe through the tulips. Basically, that's what they want y'all to do, is tiptoe through the tulips.
Yeah, and it's so easy for me to get wound up in this stuff because I sit through these briefings and meetings 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm like, I said, I just want to be able to, some things I don't want to know, because once you know, you can't unknow it. You know, and I told Wanda, I said,
we don't have a different channel that he talks about this because they would pull every channel. This week, they, from what I understand, Dabu 7 got his monetization pulled.
Yes.
Now, they didn't pull his channel, but now they do pull a lot of channels. A lot of channels are getting pulled, just they're taking their content down.
Yeah.
And if they talk about certain things, what's the other one? Dutch Sense.
I don't know. I don't watch these channels. I don't know.
Dutch Sense with the earthquake activity and stuff. They are fighting him tooth and nail. They are giving him fits. If anybody puts out good information, you start seeing them get attacked over and over and over. And lots of times they either lose their monetization or they lose their whole channel and have to start all over again. So
let me back up. I saw one go by here.
Did you see something?
Lori Bosch. My tomatoes are turning yellow at the shoulders before they are fully ripe. Is that sunburn? That is a yes answer in some aspects, and in some aspects it's a no answer, but most likely it probably is sunburn.
Can you grow beets in the fall?
Yeah, you can grow beets in the fall. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so people are putting up prayer requests and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to.
Yeah, it's getting it's too hot for tomatoes. We haven't had tomatoes in
nearly
2 months.
It's been about 2 months, since we had tomatoes.
I'm going to plant
let me tell y'all something
soon for the fall.
I'll tell you something you may not know. Once the temperature gets above 90 degrees, most pollen on most plants becomes sterile. Now, there's a few that don't, like okra and butter beans and stuff like that, or butter peas. Even butter peas, we're learning this year. We're talking to people who their butter pea plants are actually even becoming sterile. And a lot of it's not necessarily the heat; it's the radiation coming from the earth, the gamma rays coming from the earth, that's actually sterilizing the pollen on lots of stuff. So, so keep that in mind when you wonder about why my plants aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're not setting fruit or anything like that. Above 90 degrees, most pollen is sterile.
Yeah. So, YouTube is getting really bad about censoring. People say go to all these other platforms. All platforms are regulated, and all cell phones and everything else is being regulated and listened to. Your conversations, your emails, your Facebook account, they all go somewhere and you have no clue where it's at, and you can delete all you want to. Somebody somewhere still got it, and it's going to come back to haunt you guys. And so, not saying I do have my things with YouTube, and I have a Facebook account for my family, but I don't post very often. I've got to where over the last 4 or 5 years, I just quit posting, because the more they know about you, your activities, and what you do, and how you think, and they'll use it against you eventually. So just be careful what you put on Facebook, just saying.
Be careful when you put on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Even your comments on YouTube, make them as generic as possible. Don't sit there and tell your life story. Just saying. Some people do.
Jay Robertson says, Danny, do you talk pig Latin? Igpay, Atenlay, Esye, Ia, Kanye? Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
When we were little kids, that was a big deal to sit and talk pig Latin all the time.
Yeah. Robin Frank says, Elijah streams moved to Rumble. Rumble is still monitored by the DOD. All platforms, or it doesn't matter who it is, even Donald Trump's platform is monitored by the DOD. Yeah. There's a 2-second delay on all platforms, and it's because the Department of Defense monitors all platforms. There's none that is not.
Okay, how can you tell when pears are ready to pick? I think we got some.
You around the stem on the top of the pear, if you take your finger and mash in around the stem, because pears ripen from the inside out, you kind of press in a little bit on it. If they're soft around the stem at the top, then your pears are ready to pick. If you wait till they're soft when you touch them, they're overripe.
There's Life with Jen and Mike. I hope you guys are enjoying your new property.
Oh, yes, I hope y'all are.
I really do. Danny, you said to grow in pots. What about corn? How are you going to grow corn? Some things will still grow in the ground.
Some things I will still grow in the ground, like my corn. You got to understand the gamma rays really only do their worst damage when the temperatures, like back in the middle of summer. This year we beat it by putting our corn in before the last freeze, and actually got our corn up and got it pollinated before the sun got hot. All my neighbors around me got their corn in like 3 or 4 weeks after I did. None of their corn got over 3 feet tall, and it didn't pollinate. It just burnt up. And ours, I mean, y'all seen ours. It's amazing.
We planted extremely early, and it took a freeze, which should have killed it, but it wasn't tall enough, and it pulled through.
Well, I planted down in a water furrow. My daddy always told me, said, plant down in a water furrow if you plant early. And I did that, and when the freezes came, it just bit the very top edges of the corn, because the corn was down deep in a furrow in the ground. And we took a chance. Now, if it had rained and come a heavy flood, we would have been in trouble. But we took a chance, and it paid off this year.
Yes, you can grow garlic in a container.
Yes, you can grow garlic in containers. Yes.
Okay.
You can grow anything in a container that you grow in the ground except corn. Now, corn, you can grow it in a container, but you better have a way to keep the wind from blowing it over, because you couldn't put over maybe 3 or 4 stalks in a container and get anything out of it, because corn requires so much nitrogen to keep it going. It would be very difficult.
And the deal is, from year to year, you're just having to wing it now. Things aren't what they used to be. And in gardening, like this year, we planted early. Last year, we planted way late because it kept raining and kept raining and kept raining, and it was cold, and we had all kinds of issues. And Danny put it off till late March, early April.
It was late March.
So our corn was out in the heat of the summer trying to pollinate. This year, he just took a chance and planted early, and it pollinated before the heat of the summer.
Yeah.
So you've got to know your plants, you got to watch your weather, and still you mess up sometimes. Sometimes it just happens. Things happen. You have to, and don't beat yourself up. Dan did a video. If it doesn't work out, trash the idea and see what went wrong, and don't do it the next time.
Yeah, gardening is a gamble.
Yeah.
You may put the seed in the ground, you may fertilize, you may prep, but God Himself is the one who gives the increase. I mean, once you plant that seed, it's out of your hands, and you have no more control over it. So, you know, every year is a gamble, literally. Okay.
All right, we do need to say our prayers, and I've seen a lot of.
There's been a lot of prayer requests I've seen go by. Yeah. And I like what Ball Homestead said. We love your show, and y'all, you must all remember, in the end, God wins.
Yes.
And that, guys, that is my anchor. My anchor in life is, it doesn't matter what happens in this life. I could care less. I don't care if volcanoes happen. I don't care what happens. In the end, I know, first of all, where I'm going. Secondly, I know who holds me. And thirdly, I'm not going to worry about it, because if he ordered it, he's going to take care of it.
You got to stay steady on that faith.
You just got to stay steady.
All right, somebody said, how many hours in a freeze dryer did watermelon take? Gosh, I did that last year, but I don't remember. Probably most everything I do is 24 hours, somewhere around 24. And I pre-freeze everything. Anywhere from 12 to 24 hours, already pre-frozen. And somebody asked something else. How is the sugar cane doing in this heat?
The sugar cane is probably not doing as well as it should do, because we haven't had any rain in, I don't even know how long now. It's been like a month.
At least 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're in intense heat. We've not had any days less than 105. I mean, you know, it's been, the heat index has been over 105 every day. Most of it's been 115 to 120. And we've had no rain. And our ponds, our sugar cane is planted right beside our pond, because that was supposed to be a damp area. Well, the ponds are 5 foot low, and the sugar cane is not much over chest high right now, maybe head high. So it's not doing really good unless it starts raining. It's just not going to do. You know what I mean? It'll make some sugar cane, but it won't make as big and tall a cane as we've been used to.
Okay, so they're asking about Miss Lippy. We want to keep her in prayers.
Yes.
She had surgery on her knee this week, and it is swollen and it's giving her fits. She's in a good bit of pain, so we do want to remember her. We want to remember Faith and Mickey getting married.
Yeah.
My granddaughter, and who else? All these
our requests that's been going by, guys. Y'all have put a ton of requests up. And I know I've gone over, but I like to see the requests coming up. It just lets me know that people have needs. And the more of y'all that put your needs up, the more the Lord sees. Because if you think enough to put your request up, you know, I'm trying to think of how does the word say it, the scripture say it. The Lord says, those that are not ashamed to profess me before men, I won't be ashamed to profess you before my Father. And guys, Christianity's on its way out, let me tell you. There is a movement in this nation to destroy Christianity. Because there's an age coming up called the Age of Aquarius, and Christians play no part in that age. So,
they would prefer we weren't around.
They would prefer we don't make it that far.
Or if we're around, we just don't talk.
Yeah, we keep our mouths shut. So, but anyway, we need to go to the Lord in prayer. Yes, my hair is messed up, guys. I have been. It's been a bad day for me. Not only have I been hurting all day, but it's just been hot. You know, I've been trying to get through it. But anyway, we love y'all anyway. I'm gonna tell you that up front. We love y'all. We love spending our time on Saturday nights with y'all. So, Father, we want to take time to come to you tonight. And Lord, you know we love you. You know we go to the ends of the earth for you, and you know that. And Father, you've never let us down. You've said you've never seen your children forsaken or their seed begging bread, Father. So we have those promises that we can hold on to. You've also said that nothing can, or no one can pluck us out of your hand. And Father, what security? People's always looking for security. That's the security of life, is knowing that the Father has you. And Lord, and the same thing goes with our health. People, you know, we sit here tonight looking at all the requests going through. I saw several here tonight, Father. People who's fell, people who's got cancer, people who have surgeries. Ms. Lippy just had surgery. She's trying to get over it. And Father, even me tonight, sitting here with kidney stone problems and all this kind of stuff, we all have issues. There's none of us that don't really have an issue of some sort. And Father, we sit back and we know that we have nothing to be afraid of because you are in control of everything. If we bring it to you and we lay it at your feet and say, Father, I can't deal with this. I have no power over this. You need to take care of this for me. And Father, we know you're the great physician. You will answer all prayers, Father. But we also know that, first of all, we have to keep your statutes and we have to keep your commandments. These things, Lord, because we have to search for you in a time that you might be found. And we also know that there was also going to be many that called out and said, Father, Father, did we not cast out demons in your name? Did we not do this? Did we not do that? And he's going to say, depart from me because I never knew who you were. You can't play like you know the Lord. You've got to really know the Lord. And Father, tonight I pray that everyone in this chat tonight that watches really knows you as their personal Savior. And Lord, they don't play with God like he's a rabbit's foot, but that they truly love you as much as we love you, Father. Go with us through the night. Guide and direct us. Heal everyone tonight that needs healing, Father. And Father, those that can handle healing. Because many people in the scriptures who got healing, you remember many of them got healed and only one returned to give thanks. All the other ones went on about their way and did not give thanks. And Father, there are those that are not worthy of being healed. And tonight we have to ask ourselves that question. If I was healed tonight, would I praise God and would I give him the glory? We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. All right. Now, I cover up my ugly hair. I come in and took a shower. When I come out of the shower, I look like Bozo the Clown. My hair was so wet and sweaty when I got through, and I took a shower. My hair just went poof. It just stuck out everywhere. I told Wanda, I said, I'm going to have to put a hat on to calm it down tonight.
I'm getting sleepy.
Oh, man. Let's see. Whoo, man.
Too fast.
I can't even read it. It's just spinning. We would have to stop it to be able to read it. I just see amen a lot.
Do you have a tip?
Please keep my son Blake in your daily prayers. We will.
Do you have a tip or no? Or did you forget that part? I always leave that up to him usually, and he forgets.
Ray Ferguson said, Danny, I'm dealing with kidney stones too. Brother, I feel for you. I really do.
I will go to sleep if you don't figure out your tip.
Anyway, let's see here. A tip for tonight. What would be a good tip for tonight? Oh, no.
Drink plenty of water. And
yeah, if you got kidney stones, to drink plenty of water. Well, not necessarily plenty of water, but you need lemon water and apple cider vinegar and
some liquids in you to
keep that liquids in you. Keep them going.
But as hot as it is, you have to keep moisture.
You gotta drink more when you're out sweating because your body lets it out through the pores.
And you need the electrolytes. So if you have a way to put electrolytes back in, you need to do that also.
Kemper Jack says, do I dry tiny onions before replanting them? Well, it depends on what kind of onions they are. If you've got bulb onions, it's not going to really do you any good because you're never going to get a bulb out of it. But if it's multiplying onions or shallots or something like that, then yes, you need to dry them before you replant them.
Okay. What is your tip?
Oh, guys, a while ago we were talking about no safe zones in the United States or in the world as far as that goes. There's really not a safe place to live. And the same thing goes with gardening. There's not really anywhere that you can say I want to move where I can grow a guaranteed good garden. And with that tonight, my tip is, it's something I've had to learn. This has been the hardest thing I've had to learn here, and I'm having to learn it at the new property at Pecan Grove. It is it's called microclimates. On your property, you can have several microclimates on one piece of property. Now here at Deep South Homestead, I have 7 different microclimates here. Well, now I have 6 because they cut all the timber behind me. But I have 6 different microclimates here at Deep South Homestead. I have 7 different types of soil here. And it's been a challenge over the years that I've lived here, because I've lived here almost 30 years now, of learning where all these different soils are, what the microclimates are, what I can plant, where I can plant it, what gets the most sun, what gets the least amount of sun, where is the shade at, where is the sun at certain times of the month, where is the moon at, where's all these things at, and I'm figuring out the microclimates. And once you figure out the microclimates on a piece of property, it's not till then that you can actually grow really good crops of vegetables. Now, you remember last week I talked about being earth-wise on porch time, and got chewed out about that because for the love of heaven,
you mentioned Mother Earth.
People are so politically correct that when I mentioned Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is a slang phrase for me. I'm not a Mother Earth worshiper or anything like that. Anybody who knows me should know that by now. But I mentioned the word Mother Earth just in a passing comment, and people went ballistic over that. But, you've got to become Earth-wise, because now we're dealing with more radiation as these binary planetary system comes in. And no, nobody alive has ever dealt with any of this, because it's been thousands of years since it came through here. And we've got to be Earth-wise. We've got to realize the Earth is giving off more radiation than it ever has. The sun is more intense. We've got 2 CMEs. One came in today, and one's coming in tomorrow. I mean, these solar flares are being thrown at the Earth, and that's why we got EMP shields on everything. It's because at any given point, one of these could wipe out every electronic on the whatever side the Earth is facing the sun when it happens. It could wipe out every electronic on that side and fry your vehicles, fry your homes. A coronal mass ejection will burn your house down, and these things
Plus it helps with electricity.
And it helps.
Not electricity.
Lightning. If you have a lightning protector with it. But it's one of those things that we've got to learn the microclimates for our property, because it's getting harder and harder. What I did 10 years ago here at Deep South Homestead won't work now. Since Wanda and I got married. When we got married, we could plant green beans out here in the garden. They grew by the bushels. Now, we got to fight to get green beans to grow, just simply because the climate's changing. Our microclimates on our property's changing.
Yeah, because when we married, behind us, 7,000 acres was full timber.
Yeah.
This year, they cut that timber. Now we have sun coming into our back garden we've never had before. I mean, the sun was there.
Yeah.
But not the intensity without those trees doing some blocking. So everything's changing, and the animals are changing.
The animals are changing big time.
Because they cut the timber. The animals have to go somewhere. We can't blame them exactly. I mean, they ruined their homes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Lori wants to know, how much grow and bloom do you water your plants with? I guess you're asking.
Golden bloom.
It's golden bloom, but it's we do it about once every week to 2 weeks. If it's squash, we do it every week while they're blooming, and only while they're blooming. We don't put it on a plant unless they're blooming. So we do it about once a week while they're blooming with squash and stuff like that. Other plants get it once every 2 weeks. So, okay, guys, we've got to get off of here.
Got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Things to do it with.
Yeah.
I got a stove now.
Yeah.
I got to see if I can figure out how to get the oven. I had to say, okay, Danny, what buttons do I mash to get the oven on? I understand the knobs, but that oven's going to give me fits for a while. He laid the book to the side and he goes,
I laid the book over. I says,
you're going to need this for a few days.
I said, for the first week or two, you're going to need this book.
So, you guys stay safe and stay hydrated.
Yes. Thank you, guys. We love y'all.